Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Kalinicki. For those of you who don't know, I'll be out today, but I'm here in the classroom with you because I made this video so that I could teach you and review this next lesson together. So you should have out your reflection sheet and it should be checked that you have it. You should have had a calculator out on your desk, and you should have today's date, which is 9/15/17, on your packet for lesson 1.7, which is our next lesson. All right, so let's get started. Pause the video at any time if you feel like you need more time or I'm rushing you. Okay, so today's lesson, we're going to be reviewing multiplying and dividing integers. I wanted to go over just the rules that we've talked about so far, because there will be some questions on methods on your test. So let's talk about adding. When I am adding, there are two rules to remember. If I have, my mouse is being a little funky. If I have the same signs, I'm going to add the numbers, SSA. I should gotta make this a little smaller because I'm not gonna be able to fit my other one on there. Same signs, add. And the other rule is different signs, subtract. Ooh, it's really hard. I need more practice on this. Same signs add, different signs subtract when I am doing adding. When I am subtracting, I'm going to change it to an adding problem by leaving, changing, and inversing the problem as I go. When I do that, I will change it into an adding problem, and then I will have to follow the two adding rules. Same signs add, different signs subtract. To review what we did yesterday, there are really two rules for multiplying and dividing, because like a few of you said in class, the multiplying and the dividing is really the same. It's just really about the sign. So I have a positive sign as an answer when I have the same signs in the problem. And I have a negative answer when I have different signs in the problem, meaning the signs are different from each other. Ooh, my mouse just jumped. Try that again. When I have different signs, I'm going to have a negative answer. Negative. Okay. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to try to tell me if the sign is going to be positive, you're going to write plus. If it's going to be negative, you're going to write negative. And if the answer is going to be 0, which some of them are, you're just going to put a 0. So right now, without putting them in your calculator, I just want you to go through these multiplying problems and underneath these dividing problems and tell me if the answer is positive or negative first. Just going to do that, pause the video, and come back and we'll go over the questions together. Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to go over these. So remember, if the numbers have the same signs, if the two numbers in the problem have the same signs, the answer will be positive. If they have different signs, one is negative, one's positive, or one's positive, one's negative, the answer will be negative. And if there's a 0 in it, most likely it's going to be 0. So let's see. Negative 6 times 0. Well, that is going to be a 0. 7 times 3, those are both positive. They have the same sign, so my answer is going to be positive. Oof, terrible. 8 times negative 2. 8 times negative 2, different signs, so my answer is going to be negative. Negative 4 times negative 10, those have the same signs. Same signs, my answer is going to be positive. Getting better. 9 times negative 4, those are different signs, so my answer is going to be negative. 10 times 4, those are both positive numbers, so my answer will be positive. 0 times negative 10, well, anything times 0 is just going to be 0. 11 times 11, those two numbers are both positive, so my answer will also be positive. Negative 6 times negative 4, those are the same signs, so my answer will also be positive. And my last one's negative 10 times negative 2, they're both negative numbers. They have the same sign, so my answer is going to be positive. So far, so good. I'm moving on to the division ones. Here we go. At the bottom, the division ones again. If I have to see the rules up here, we can. Same signs, positive numbers, positive answer, different signs, negative answer. So 96 and negative 12 have different signs, so that means it's going to have a negative answer. Negative 40 divided by negative 10, those have the same signs, so my answer will be positive. Negative 63 divided by negative 9 will get me same signs, so that will also get me a positive answer. Negative 8 divided by 2, those have different signs, my answer will be negative. 72 divided by 12, those have the same signs, my answer will be positive. 33 divided by 11, same signs, answer will be positive. 35 divided by 5, same signs, they're both positive, my answer will be positive. Negative 25 divided by 5, those have different signs, my answer will be negative. Negative 24 divided by negative 12, same sign, so my answer is going to be positive. And the last one, negative 96 divided by 8, those are different signs, so my answer is going to be negative. Ooh. All right. So now that you've had a few minutes, hopefully you got all of these right, so that's great. I want you to go back now, and with a calculator, and again, you can do it with or without the signs, it's up to you. Go back in and fill out these numbers. And pause the video right now. Come back when you're ready to go over the answers. I'll put them up on the board for you. Okay, you're still playing. That means we're ready to go over these answers. First one was 0. Second one is positive 21. Third one is negative 16. Next one over here is positive 40. Next one over here is negative 36. Over here is positive 40. 0, we already talked about that one. 11 times 11 is 121. Negative 4 times negative 6 is positive 24. And 10 times 2 makes positive 20. Give that a second so you guys can double check. Pause if you need to. If not, I'm moving on. All right. 96 divided by 12 gets you a negative 8. There we go. Negative 40 divided by negative 10 gets you a positive 4. 63 divided by 9 is 7. 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. 72 divided by 12, that will get you 6. Positive 6. 33 divided by 11 will get you 3. It's a big 3. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Negative 25 divided by 5 is negative 5. Negative 24 divided by negative 12 is positive 2. And negative 96 divided by 8 is a negative 12. Again, if you need, pause. If not, we're moving on to the next ones together. Okay, moving on. So now we're up to word problems. Again, this is review. You know that these problems are either multiplying or dividing. So I'm going to read through each one as we go. What I want you really to do is pair up, and Miss Forza and the sub can put you in pairs, or groups of 3 if need be. I want you to read each question. I want you to see if you can set up an expression, either a multiplying or a dividing expression. And I want you to get an answer. Remember, some of these are going to be positive answers, some of these are going to be negative answers. Some of them will have positive numbers in the problem, some of them will have negative numbers in the problem. It's up to you to decide when to use positive numbers, when to use negative numbers, when to multiply, when to divide. The best thing I can have you do with your partners is to talk about and debate and prove and be skeptics. Which one should I use, multiplying or dividing? Why am I using it? What clue words are we talking about? I'm going to do the first one with you. That way you can see what I'm talking about, and then you can do the rest with your partner. So here we go. A person has a debt, that's how you pronounce that. It's not, you say the B silently, debt of $200. That means they owe someone $200. 5 friends offered to pay off all of the debt. How much does each person need to pay in order to pay off all the debt? Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot of money, right? Here's my big pile of $200. And 5 friends want to pay it for me. I'm trying to draw arrows. This is terrible. My marker's not working so well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people want to pay this for me. That's great. It seems like what's going to happen, and this is not in the problem, but it looks like my 5 friends are going to kind of split up the debt for me, right? Sounds like they're going to split it up for me. So I'm going to write the word split because that's kind of what is happening here. And this operation, what it seems to be doing, because 200 people are kind of splitting up this debt, split is another word for divide. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a dividing problem. So I take the whole 200, because that's what I'm going to divide, and I'm going to divide it by how many friends are offering to pay. So there are 5 friends that are offering to pay. This is one way to write the division problem as a fraction. Another way you could write it, 200 with a division sign and 5, up to you. Either way, I'm going to do the division in my calculator, and I'm going to get that each person is paying 40. How much does each person need to pay? They each need to pay $40. Notice I didn't use negatives this time, because they're going to pay off the debt, and it wouldn't make sense if they were paying negative $40. So I used positive here. If it didn't make sense with positive, then I might have to go back and put a negative in the problem, but it makes sense here. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so you saw me talk through the first question. Again, I kind of looked at the situation as a whole. Am I doing something multiple times, or am I taking something big and splitting it up into smaller chunks? That's what you have to decide, really. What kind of question are we doing? Are we doing something multiple times, or are we splitting something up? You and your partner are going to decide. You're going to read each question. You're going to underline or highlight some key words and phrases. Like I said something about the 5 friends. I even wrote the word split here and drew a quick little diagram. You can do that as well. I want you to tell me and be able to be prepared to explain why you chose a certain operation. Okay, so get started with your group. You're going to do the rest of the questions all the way up to 6 together with your group. If the groups become too loud and Ms. Forza needs to separate you and you have to work independently, that's fine too. At the end, when your time is up, you're going to unpause the video and I will go over these with you. Okay, so get started. Good luck. Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to go over these. So, I'm up to number 2. Mrs. A needed $20 for a show. She withdrew 7 times that amount of money. How much did she withdraw? So we're talking about withdraw. That sounds familiar. That means taking money out of the bank. And she only needed $20. Okay. But then something happened. She withdrew 7 times that amount. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's a little scary. She withdrew a lot of money. Yikes. That's not good. Not good. So, it seems like she did something 7 more times than she really wanted to. So this word times is telling me that she did this 7 times. So, my operation is 20 times 7. Again, we've showed times many different ways. We've shown it with the dot. We've shown it with the time sign. And we've shown it with parentheses. Up to you how you want to show it, but we're probably going to be using these 2 ways more often in 7th grade. Okay, when I am done, she withdrew. How much did she withdraw? Did she withdraw? She withdrew $140. Again, I didn't use positives here. I didn't use negatives here. I know it says withdrew, but I wouldn't say she withdrew negative $140. That doesn't make sense. So the question is asking how much did she withdraw? She withdrew $140. That makes sense. If she said how much did her bank account change, then you might want to use the negative because her account went negative 140 or went down by 140. Cool. Next question. A sprinkler was 8 feet below ground. Mr. S has a machine that can dig 2 feet at a time. How many times must he need to use his machine to reach the sprinkler? That should say must, and it says much. Okay. So let's try to figure out what's happening here. I gotta read this again. The sprinkler was 8 feet below the ground. Alright, so here's my ground, and my sprinkler is somehow down here. Here's my sprinkler. Way down here. 8 feet down. And Mr. S is up here, and he's trying to dig. I'm going to draw kind of like a shovel. There we go. So he's got this machine that can dig. He's going to dig 2 feet at a time. And I want to know, how many times will it take him to get down to the sprinkler? I want to get to 8, but I have to go 2 at a time. How many 2s will it take me to get down here? To 8. So you could do 2 times something will get you 8. But if I'm going to use the 8 feet and I'm going to use the 2 feet, I'm going to have to divide. It says how many times. So if I don't know how many times, like multiply, then I have to work backwards to figure out how many times. So I'm going to do 8 divided by 2. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to double check to see if my answer makes sense as a positive number. If not, I might have to put negatives in my problem. Let's see. How many times must he need to use his machine to reach the sprinkler? He needs to use his machine 4 times. Well, that makes sense. I don't use it negative 4 times. So I'm going to keep positive 4 as my answer to how many times, Times, how many times he needs to use that device. All right, moving on. Pause if you need to. Number 4, Lily bought 4 pairs of jeans at $32 each. Awesome. 4 pairs of jeans, $32 each. And I'm thinking about jeans. Here's my 1 pair of jeans. Here's my 2 pairs of jeans. Here's my 3 pairs of jeans. These are getting bigger and bigger. Here's my 4 pairs of jeans. Okay, so I'm buying 4 pairs of jeans, and each one is costing $32. So that means this one costs $32. That means this one costs $32. You get the idea, right? All right. So if each one costs $32, that means I have to do 4 times 32. I could also do 32 plus 32 plus 32 plus 32, but we all know that's a faster way to do that is to multiply. How much money did she pay the clerk? Okay, so I'm going to do this math on my calculator, and I'm going to see if this answer makes sense. She gave the clerk $128. That makes sense? Should it be negative? No. I don't give somebody negative money. I give them money. So my final answer is $128. Good. Here we go. Next question. In New York, the temperature in December was 5 degrees. In Texas, it was 75 degrees. Wow. How many times warmer was it in Texas? How many times warmer? Again, think about what we talked about earlier. If I don't know how many times, right? I don't know how many times. I can't do times, which means I have to do its opposite. So if I don't know how many times, instead of timesing, I'm going to have to divide. I'm obviously going to divide my bigger number, right? My total, divided by the smaller number to figure out how many times 5 would get me 75. And again, in my calculator, and I got 15. So how many times warmer is it in Texas? Let's double check. Well, from New York, which was 5, if I times it by 15, I should get 75, and I do. So how many times warmer? It's 15 times warmer. Probably better than writing on some of our boards, because some of our boards have funky spots. All right, last question. Here we go. 3 children owed their parents money for a gift. Okay, see the number 3. In total, they owe their parents $54. How much does each child owe? How much does each child owe? Okay, again, I'm going to try to figure out this question. So they owe their parents $54. So I'm going to write $54. And they each owe them. Nope, they don't each owe them. They owe their parents $54. How much does each child owe? So they all kind of went in on a gift. So here's kid number 1. He owes some of that money. Kid number 2 owes some of that money. Kid number 3 owes some of that money. They don't all owe $54, but they all have to chip in to make $54. So to make it fair, they all should pay the same amount, right? So I'm going to take the $54 and I'm going to have to, almost wrote off the board, I think I did, split the money 3 different ways. So splitting means I'm going to have to do division. $54 divided by 3 kids. I don't know if you hear me doing my calculator. I'm doing my calculator here because I don't know what that is off the top of my head. 18. Each kid owes, how much does each kid owe? Each kid owes $18. You see, every time I was going back to the question to reread it to see if my answer made sense in terms of positive and negative, and to see what to label my answer. How many times warmer? It was 15 times warmer. How much money did she pay the clerk? She paid the clerk $128. Okay. If there's enough time, I gave Miss Forza and the sub directions on what to do. If there's not enough time to do anything else, then I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you have a great Friday, and I will see you back on Monday. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye. Bye.